Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly, and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. As you guys can already see, the markets have bounced very strongly, and it's followed perfectly to my plan that I laid out based off of the Wyckoff spring. Now that we're starting to see the markets bounce, I've already told you that I believe the bottom's in. Now that we're seeing the reaction that we've been expected, we're going to continue to see the markets trend up, and I'm going to be sharing with you guys today my scenarios for where I think prices are going to be headed, how we're going to see the next bounce play out, and how we can go ahead and make the most profitable decisions and play this to the fullest advantage possible over the next couple months. If you're new and just finding this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Always remember to click that notification bell so you don't miss any of these awesome videos like the one provided for me here. And make sure you guys sign up and join the Discord server if you're just a new guy wanting to join my community. Links are going to be provided for you in the description for the people that want to sign up. On top of that, if you're just beginning trading, I have a free ebook that's going to be linked in the description that I know is going to help you guys out tremendously, which is why I made it free to download. Links are provided for you in the description. And with all that being said, guys, let's jump right into this amazing video today. Alrighty guys, so to start off this video, we're just going to go through and talk about Bitcoin because Bitcoin played out exactly to what my plan was and really what I've been watching. Now, if you guys remember in one of my latter videos, I actually didn't upload yesterday, but on Monday, I talked about this same potential and I said, guys, we were right up here at about 35. And I said, guys, what is most likely going to happen is we're going to get one more low. This final low is going to look like support's failing. It's going to look like it was a breakdown, only to that dip get bought up and then us complete this reversal point. Now, guys, what this chart has reminded me of so closely was literally this schematic right here. So if you guys remember, this is what we were watching for. We were watching for one more final sell-off, this final sell-off to just barely pierce below the support. And then once that happens, that's the spring-loaded bounce that's going to take us up. And so guys, this is followed perfectly to what we had laid out in the last video. And so now that we've seen this bounce, we have a couple different things that we need to be watching out for from here. Now, we have seen a nice bounce off of the lows. This is exactly what we wanted to see. Now, in my opinion, what we need to see from here is support to hold, at about $33,000. If we can hold above that, that's what's ultimately going to take us up into a tag at this resistance, because now, guys, we only really have one level left to hit, and that's about 41,380. See this big resistance up here? This is our supply. Every time we've hit it, it's produced a sell-off every single time up to this point. Now, keep in mind, guys, that at the same time, every single time we've hit this support level, we've got a bounce. So what this is telling me is that there's plenty of buyers that are willing to step in here and accumulate as each sell-off comes down. So now that we've seen this bounce, guys, if we drop it to a bigger time frame, on the 3-day, we've yet to even break below this level right here. This is just wicks, right? This is just retesting. And this is why we always want to make sure that we're zooming out on the bigger time frames, because when we know what's happening on the bigger time frames, it's a lot easier to understand the bigger picture. And guys, at the end of the day, this is just our first impulse past the all-time highs. If we come over here and draw resistance at the all-time highs, we never even had any type of major pullback. This was just a little tiny baby pullback. Same with this one, same with this one. This was our first lower high in this correction. And so this has been our first major shakeout, and since all the way back down here at about February to March of 2020. That was the last shakeout that we had up to this point. So even though it is kind of brutal, even though we've seen a big pullback, a lot of you guys are probably seeing, 50%, 60% drawdowns amongst your long-term portfolio, it doesn't change the bigger picture, because at the end of the day, guys, if we're analyzing the Elliott waves, where we corrected was perfectly on par with what we want to see with an Elliott wave impulse. So if every Elliott wave impulse, there's going to be 3 impulse waves. This was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means that this was wave 1, right? So we'll draw wave 1. And then you do the same thing again. You get 3 impulse waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then you get another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our cycle looks something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this was our 3-wave, right? So what happens after every 5-wave impulse is you're going to see a drawdown on the downside. And this is just what's going to be expected every single time. So this 60% sell-off is, on par with what we saw in the last cycle after that first big rally up. This was the all-time highs. This was the break of the all-time highs. This was that first pullback, right? And so we saw something very similar play out. The only real difference here is there's more money involved. There's more money with institutions that can actually sell off the price much more significantly. Even though we didn't see a 65% drawdown in the last cycle, this is what we're seeing today, which just gives us a greater buying opportunity of actually buying that dip. And so when we take a look at the bigger picture, guys, we finished wave 1. We finished wave 3. And now what's going to be coming next is wave 5. And this is wave 5 of 5, guys, which if we look at what happened in the last cycle, this was wave 1. This was wave 3 right here. And then this was wave 5. This move from 3,000 all the way up to 20,000 was wave 5. So see how expansive this got. Virtually no pullbacks, almost just pure price appreciation and parabolic rises. Hardly any pullbacks throughout this period of time. And that's what happened in wave 5. This was the top of the last cycle. Now, guys, based off of this cycle, we finished wave 1. We finished wave 3. And so if wave 5 is what's to be projected coming next, wave 5, based off of many parabolic cycles, is going to be the biggest. It's going to be the most parabolic. It's going to be the most profitable. And this is where we're going to make the majority of our profit, guys. And so I strongly believe that we're going to see, Bitcoin well above and beyond 100K. In my opinion, 100K has been programmed. It was inevitable. We always knew this is what's going to happen. But when I really take the time to just look at this chart, we can see that we have a parabolic trend that is increasing, right? We can see that this is rounding out. It's getting more parabolic. And in my opinion, this is really what's taking us for that big push on the upside. We could see little pullbacks in here. But regardless, I think that it's going to happen quickly. We could see a run back up to about, well, in my opinion, if we're looking at the shorter time frames, what we're going to see next play out, we're going to see what I think is going to play out from here is a move back up to about 47 to 48K. From here, a little correction. And that's what's, in my opinion, is going to be taking us into new all-time highs. I think we're going to get some chop throughout this period of time. A little short-term relief bounce is what's to be expected. Maybe upwards of, 47, 48K, little correction. And that's what's going to take us into this next major impulse. And so this is what I'm going to be watching out for, guys. Regardless, the bigger picture is still, nothing has changed. I mean, we're still just as bullish as we were before. The only real difference here is we're getting a great buying opportunity, the biggest buying opportunity that we've had since March of 2020. I think that we should just do our best in holding if we're holding our long-term bags. If we're focusing on the end of the year, then this correction shouldn't matter because, we're nowhere close to that end of the year target. So just be aware of Bitcoin. Watch out for these updates. We're going to watch for 100K next because in my opinion, guys, this is going to be the one that really starts to take off. We're going to see Bitcoin above 100K. In my opinion, my target's always been 250K. That's what I've been talking about on the channel since all the way back in 2019. I'm going to keep watching for this. Now, guys, let's talk about another chart here. And let's talk about the crypto total market cap because this one is once again at a very important point. In my last video, I was about right here and I said that it was possible that we could see a bounce from this level. In fact, that's not what happened and we got one more low here. Now guys, that low really didn't even go any lower necessarily than the first one that we made. Notice how we had this first sell-off and we bounced right here. This most recent sell-off, had a short-term bounce below it, but this most recent sell-off had a pierce below it, but we actually bounced back above. So there's really no reason to get super bearish right now. This is just our first sell-off after our breakout of the all-time high. We didn't come all the way back down to retest this, and I didn't think that we needed to anyways. And so to see us bounce like we have, we're merely following along to the plan. And I think that any dip is just a great buying opportunity. In my opinion, the dip is over. We will see a bounce on the upside before going up much higher here. Now, really, guys, I'm just expecting some type of a dead cat bounce. Rally up on the upside and then do something along the lines of this. This is what I'm going to be watching out for. We've got a month or two of consolidation. Best thing to do, guys, is take a break, get away from the charts. If you're holding long term, why overcomplicate things by staring at the charts, by worrying about what you lost at the top? Because none of that matters, guys. We know that we just had the first breakout of the all-time high. And really, guys, if I come over here, one more final chart just to go and take a look at things. If we come over here, completely just ignore what the hell this is because I don't know what that is. If we come over here and we take a look at what happened in the last cycle after we actually broke those all-time highs, the first sell-off past all-time highs was right here. This is what our first move looked like in the last cycle. We had this big run up. And then we had our first pullback, right? And so this is really how it played out in that last cycle. To see the similarities between the two, I think you guys will start to understand a little bit more of what I mean here. Because in my opinion, where we're at is literally the exact same move as what we saw in that last cycle. Almost exact, right? See the same type of pullbacks, the same run up, break the all-time highs, have our first major sell-off in that move. Now, in my opinion, this is what's coming up next. We're going to get a rally up, pull back, and then that's what's going to take us to our final blow off top where we'll see this type of a move, right? A lot of people think that that's impossible. I saw it happen in the last cycle. This cycle is lining up to be exactly the same. I don't think that there's a big difference here. So we're going to continue to watch out for this long-term trend, guys, because the thing is, if you're worried right now, there's no reason to be worrying right now because this is the first sell-off past the all-time highs. We know what's happened based off of prior cycles after this point. If we come back here, where we're at is literally right here. This is where we're at today. This is what happened after that point in the last cycle. Are you going to be the person that sells right here before this? I'm not. That's just my thoughts. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Links are provided for you in the description if you guys want to sign up for my video course or signals. If you guys found value in this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Links are also provided for you in the description for the people that want to go ahead and join my private group, join up for the signals and service, all of that stuff. If you guys want to copy my portfolio, links are always going to be provided for you in the description to do all of that. Thank you guys so much for watching. And with all that being said, I will catch you in the next one. As always, peace out.